Hello to everyone. This is the last day of the Bandera Plastic Week event, our 4 days marathon during which we discussed different technologies available in Bandera. Today's session will be focused on materials and biomaterials, giving you an idea about the present and the future requirements of the market. All these topics will be presented by Bandera partners during individual presentations. I thank you so much for your attention and I hope to see you soon.
Hello everybody. Welcome to my presentation about concepts of compatibilization in PE multi-layer film recycling. My name is Klaas Mester. I work at Mitsui Chemicals Europe in the ADME department as a technical service engineer. And I will briefly present Mitsui Chemicals, go on with ADME, how does it work and its applications. In the main part, I'll tell you something about compatibilization and trial results with ADME recycling agents. And at the end, I'll summarize the most important points. Mitsui Chemicals is a Japanese company and has a long history up to 1912. And Mitsui Chemicals is selling its product in 4 business domains: mobility, healthcare, food and packaging, and basic materials. Coming to ADME, it is a maleic anhydride grafted polyolefin, extrudable and usually used as a tie layer in multi-layer application. ADME provides excellent bonding to polyolefins and barrier materials. Bonding mechanism to polyolefins is based on compatibility and to barrier materials on chemical reaction. Very important is that our ADME grades are classified as polyolefins and do not count to foreign materials respecting the guidelines of CFlex or recyclers. MAH grafted polyolefins as ADME are not only beneficial, they are absolutely essential in the recycling process. ADME's main businesses in Europe, Middle East and Africa is the packaging sector, as you can see here in different forms. Second business is the automotive sector, especially the fuel tank and pipes. And the third sector is the industrial sector with different pipes, IBCs, or for instance, agricultural films. The fourth sector is the recycling sector. And as you all know, we must reduce plastic waste personally and in the industry. This is caused by our personal interest and by tightened rules of the authorities in order to implement higher recycling rates and mechanisms of waste prevention. To fulfill these tasks, there are 2 common ways of compatibilizing plastic waste for mechanical recycling. First one is to add a separate compatibilizer layer or to increase the reactivity of tie layers in the multi-layer structure. This provides many advantages. No need to add the compatibilizer in another step, and the ideal amount and type of compatibilizer is already in the structure. Second concept is to add the compatibilizer during mechanical recycling step. Sometimes it is not possible to add the compatibilizer layer to the structure, or for instance, post-industrial waste needs further compatibilization to improve the properties. Then this concept is of course preferable. Let's have a closer look to these 2 concepts. As mentioned before, our expertise is in using ADME as a tie layer for bonding between polyolefins and polar materials. In case of a PE-based structure, ADME is providing a physical bonding to PE and a chemical bonding to PA or EVOH. Having a look at the first concept, the compatibilizer is located in 1 layer. Our concentrate grades as NF642E are designed for a good dispersion into polyolefins and ideal for this purpose. It is the same reaction mechanism of both concentrate grades and recycling agents. It is always about bonding between non-polar polyolefins to polar barrier materials. But the challenge for the second concept is to design a compatibilizer which provides a good dispersion in a blend and to occupy the space between matrix and dispersed polar material. The processing of concept 2 is tougher and more challenging regarding good dispersion. The same applies to the combination of PE and PA, because EVOH in ethylene copolymer is more familiar with polyethylene and has a higher miscibility. To show the possibilities with our recycling agents, I will stick to the second concept and the material combination of PE and PA. For this purpose, I want to introduce two of our new recycling agents. First one is ADMER RA102. It is a maleic anhydride grafted elastomer-based recycling agent dedicated to applications with PE, PP, and PA or EVOH. The second one is ADMER RA103E. It is a maleic anhydride grafted PE-based recycling agent. This agent is dedicated and optimized for the recycling application with PE and PA or EVOH. And RA103 is the standard grade, so I will focus on that. We performed some trials and took a multi-layer film composed of 60% PE, 15% ADMER tie layer, and 25% PA. We chopped it and processed in a special recycling machine consisting of a single screw extruder with degassing unit and melt filter, produced a new monolayer film from the recycling material, and analyzed the resulting film regarding processability. In detail, the melt flow rate, we determined the optical properties. We took some pictures with a scanning electron microscope to have a look at the morphology, and we measured the transparency, and we investigated the mechanical properties with the impact resistance and the puncture resistance. But first of all, let's have a look at what is happening during compatibilization regarding molecular weight. The MAH grafted PE bonds to the PA molecules, and this results in an increase of molecular weight and to a shift of molecular weight distribution. Consequently, the viscosity goes up and you will gain different flow properties. We measured the melt flow rate to compare the processability of uncompatibilized and compatibilized material, compared with the reference in dark blue, even 3% of RA103E, it's the orange bar, lets the MFR rise about 40%, what is a good indication for better flowability and processability. Next slide shows the simplified mechanism of light refraction, starting with a multi-layer film. Light rays are coming in, get bent, and going out. No difference between A and B. Consequently, the film is transparent. How does it look like in a regrind layer with oriented phase inside? Light rays are coming in, get bent differently, and going out again. Difference between A and B is quite big, so the film is opaque. Now we have a look at a compatibilized sample with spherical shaped face inside. Light is coming in, gets bent, and is going out again. The gap between both light rays is not as big as in the uncompatibilized sample. Consequently, it is less hazy and more transparent. The reason for that is the different refractive index of each material. And the refractive index determines how much the path of light is bent when entering a material. Using ADMER recycling agents results in a finer, more homogeneous morphology. An optimized morphology is responsible for a higher transparency and an improve of crystallinity during the cooling step of the production. To show you how it looks like in real, we took some SEM pictures. As a reminder, the composition of the original film on the top left side. And on the left SEM picture, you see the uncompatibilized sample in machine direction. Oriented PA particles in black. On the right picture, the morphology changes drastically by adding 10% ADMER RA103E. PA is better dispersed and the shape of the PA face is more spherical-like. Similar observations in transverse direction, comparing uncompatibilized and compatibilized samples. The SEM picture shows clearly a finer morphology by using ADMER RA103E. And the finer morphology results as described before in a film, which is less hazy. Compared to the uncompatibilized sample, ADMER RA103E is reducing the internal haze and consequently increasing the transparency. But this is not the only advantage of a finer morphology. The mechanical properties improve as well. Compared to the uncompatibilized reference, our ADMER recycling agents are modifying the test material to a higher film impact resistance. Same observations can be made for the puncture resistance. For the sample, the puncture resistance can be increased about 40% compared to the reference material without compatibilizer. Coming to the end, I showed you that ADMER recycling agents are able to upcycle your multi-layer waste so that new applications are possible and recycling rates can be maximized. And this is based on improved properties. The flowability and dispersion properties are optimized by using ADMER recycling agents. You will gain a finer morphology and consequently a higher transparency and better mechanical properties. Thank you for your attention.
Welcome to BFM, a company operating in the field of machine for plastic materials since 1975. My name is Simona Colombo, Marketing and Sales Manager. First, I want to thank all participants and Bandera company for their invitation to Plastic Week virtual event as demonstration of the long-lasting cooperation between our companies. BFM is partners of Bandera since the beginning, and during all these 46 years, we are following with great satisfaction the evolution of blown film plants, constantly devoting us to the technological innovations of takeoff and winders. Most of Bandera blow film lines are equipped with BFM takeoff and winders. BFM is today acknowledged as one of the leading companies for the construction of flexographic printing machines, takeoff and automatic winders for extrusion blown film lines. Our headquarters are located in Solbiate Olona, north of Italy, only 20 kilometers far from Milan and close to Malpensa International Airport. Our goal in the short and medium term is to become the European benchmark in the field of plastic machine, supplying top quality flexographic printing machines, takeoff and automatic winders, assuring our customers continuous innovative improvements and prompt technical assistance. We are committed to take active part in turning the flexographic printing and flexible packaging into a sustainable industry. In the long term, we are determined to contribute with an ongoing R&D approach to the success of a mindful use of plastic that fosters the economic growth, respecting the environment and above all their inhabitants. I now give the word to Marco, BFM Sales Manager, that will present our production range.
Thanks, Simona, and good afternoon to everybody. My name is Marco Adamo, BFM Sales Manager. Our machinery, distributed all over the world, in more than 70 countries, are manufactured in our new 1,500 square meter facility, housing a new research and development center. Our production range consists of flexographic printing machines, automatic winders, and take-off dedicated to blow film plants. But today, our focus is on flexographic printing machines. All our flexo printers meet the printing following key points: lower startup wastage, faster job changes, high-speed printing, and use the most advanced technological solution on which we invested and are still investing many researches in a perspective of continuous improvement of production quality. Our printers can be divided in two main categories with CI central drum or stack type. Talking about the CI flexo printer, let me have the pleasure to introduce you our Marte 8-color central drum, full gearless printer. Here you can see the overall machine dimension. We can see the main machine groups and some characteristics of printer as unwinder unit turret type, nip roll section, corona treatment, printing unit, the drying system, the printing quality check, automatic winder turret type, control panel, inking pumps, and last but not least, the electrical cabinet positioned in the machine upper part. Among the most important technical features of Marte, we find machine groups completely motorized, receipts selection, mechanical speed up to 400 meters per minute, and finally, Marte 8 colors is a machine which can print with high quality and with perfect resistor. Talking about stack type printers, they can be reel-to-reel or inline version with extruder or with backmaker's machine, and from 2 up to 8 colors. Let me introduce now our latest born. Serio 6 or 8 colors is a servo model or full gearless reel-to-reel stack type flexo printer equipped with stationary, shaftless or turret type unwinder, printing unit 6 or 8 colors, drying system by electrical heaters or gas, stationary or turret type winder, control panel with interface 22 inches. Among the most important technical features of Serio S Plus, we can find individually motorized counter rollers, adjustable pressure by touch panel, printing set point and automatic presetting, sleeve change cliché and anti-locks directly in machine, mechanical speed up to 250 meters per minute and more. Always in the stack type sector, we manufacture Serio 4 and 6 colors stack type printer specially dedicated to the production of industrial bags. I show you an example of FFS sacks where we can see the gassetting and embossing ensure the printing. The FFS sacks are normally used for the following products: plastic polymers, granules and fertilizers, salts and composts. The main features of this machine are unwinder for reel up to 1,500 millimeters diameter, corona treatment with intermittence, printing unit 2, 4, 6, 8 colors, gas setting and embossing unit, automatic winder non-stop type for reel up to 1,500 millimeters diameter. In the last year, we have had a great success with these lines, especially in Middle East. Here, Simona again.
Thank you, Marco, for your products presentation. Now, I take the floor to share BFM commitment to global sustainability. BFM is a virtuous company. We use avant-garde technologies to facilitate quick job changes, reduce waste in general, and to reduce waste material on each run. Our machineries save energy. Our printers can be provided with special devices to allow a proper thermoregulation for a correct drying, and our special servo motors allow reduced energy consumption. Our printers are eco-friendly. They can process polymeric materials of different types, also from raw organic origin, that's to say bio, and they work with water-based inks. Altogether, we can do more for us, for our children, and for our planet. Thank you everybody for your time and attention. We hope you have appreciated our presentation, and we take the opportunity to invite you to our digital event entitled High Quality with STEC, scheduled for July 8, and to our open house planned on July 14 and 15.
Thank you again, and see you soon.
I'm Daniele Cerazaro, Sales and Marketing Director of Bandera. In today's webinar, we will focus on a 7-layer co-extrusion blown film line, specifically designed to run medium and high barrier films, as well as for non-barrier structures, meeting so the needs of the end user. The market, in fact, is constantly evolving, led by the product development searching for high performances, down-gauging, recyclable and generally more efficient solutions. This topic will be discussed later in detail by my colleague Mr. Pietro Zanotto, Sales Area Manager of Bandera. This increased complexity of the product has generated a natural evolution of production technologies. Initially, the field of barrier films was dominated by conventional 5-layer lines. Today, driven by new frontiers of today's challenging products requirements, we can see a general increase in the number of layers, which has led to design of 7, 9 and 11-layer concepts. As said, today we are running a 7-layer line, designed to meet the maximum flexibility. Therefore, it becomes mandatory to conceive in the most efficient way our lines. Some examples of our cost-efficient technological solutions: extruders equipped with universal screws to process a wide range of materials, optimized die distribution, thickness gauging system capable to discriminate the barrier layer out from the total film thickness. Flexibility is the key word. For instance, one of the challenging concepts coming from the new product specification as a result of today's requirements is to guarantee the proper polymer distribution while running 2 microns heavyweight structure, thus granting barrier properties combining significant product overall cost control. Just to give you another example, a precise dosing system has to allow quick product changes and must be easy to manage. Dear attendees, a very intense program awaits us, so I won't take up any more time of yours. Just stay tuned with us. Next session to follow will cover also the other Bandera technical division, flat die and recycling.
Hello to everyone, and thank you for your availability in attending the Bandera Plastic Week 2021. My name is Pietro Zanotto, Sales Area Manager for the blown film flat die and recycling technology at Bandera. I would like, first of all, thank Doteco for the interesting contribution and for the overview on the installed dosing units on our BarrierFlex 7-layer blown film line. And I would also like to start from here, as the complexity of the final product and therefore the complexity of the formulations determines efficiency in the overall line management as a key point of our discussion today. In fact, I will be glad to provide you some insight on IoE, Internet of Extrusion, a Bandera trademark, fully compliant with the Industry 4.0 requirement, which will offer the base for a quick overview also on the second topics that I'm discussing with you today, the current trends of the specific case, the barrier film market. As you certainly know, there are a few key parameters that require the highest possible level of accuracy in order to manage this complexity in the most efficient way. Few examples that all of us know very well, and especially our customers know very well, as a focal point of profit. The raw material cost, fast and prompt machine setup, shorter time in changing the production, fast changing in recipe parameter. Among the others, all these variables impose an uncommon attention and precision in machine handling and all in all in the operation handling. For us, for Bandera as a machine manufacturer, becomes fundamental a complete and integrated line control. We call it supervisor, in order to guarantee both benefits today by optimizing all the setting of a specific production, as well as benefit for tomorrow over a longer time horizon with cost-effective solutions, aimed clearly to positively influence the overall equipment effectiveness. For this reason, I would like to illustrate to you specifically the Bandera supervisor system. We developed and optimized our software for blown film line management with the main goal to make the complex simple. How? We invest a lot of efforts and time in optimizing the software feature with our R&D, thanks to the precious contribution of our customers. The contribution of our customers and people daily involved in operation open a highway to elaborate and develop in the most efficient way the already existing software and line management by giving the birth to the IOE. The main direction of the IOE can be summarized here with 4 major spheres of action. First of all, advanced software and user-friendly interface. This in order to facilitate your team in blown film handling, guaranteeing an efficient management of raw material, a quick formulation setup, an easy machine setup, and a constant monitor and recall blown film line parameters. These, all in all, basically advanced system and tools for alert management becomes mandatory, as well as the purging activities, system assistance for shutdown activities, and everything which is related to all the daily operation. Second, a full process data, operational monitoring, including also auxiliary equipment. We elaborate the need of having the full and complete control of the line on a unique dashboard, and all the equipment composing the line, and clearly all the ancillaries. Also, external components, in fact, are constantly monitored on our supervisor system. The constant monitoring allows to promptly identify, react, and in case of fault, act. Clearly, having a complete dashboard closer on the operator panel will facilitate and speed up all the intervention of your team. Just to think about a couple of examples. Suppose a corona fault or suppose a chiller fault. In case of a corona fault, for instance, if for any reason a reel is not treated or not properly treated, we can identify and correct the corona issue immediately. And the same prompt action in case of any anomaly of the chiller unit. If some parameters are not aligned, the operator can identify the values and therefore promptly act in the most efficient way. All of us can certainly agree on the importance of sooner the better as a clear vision of our goal. Immediately track the fault, inspect, and provide a fast solution. As a third pillar, we can say data machine and parameters to be used, integrated, extracted on your ERP system with a standard communication protocol or a tailored solution. All of us becomes used to the importance of data. Data collection, data analysis, data evaluation, data monitoring, data extraction, data all in all as an input in more complex function. Data for production, sometimes asked from our customers as a source of optimization and profit management. Certainly here the point is not to get the data, but use the data you need in the right way and in the most easy way to be integrated in a company system. We therefore can provide data as a parameters to your company ERP with standard protocol or tailor it into and shape the data in the most preferred way. So to get 100% benefit of the information coming from the extrusion line. The fourth areas of our intervention is another crucial aspect in the daily operation activities, specifically those related to the maintenance. The ordinary maintenance, and therefore all the set of reminder and needed alert to the ordinary maintenance activities, scheduled maintenance, schedule intervals as per our suggestion, or operation that has to be carried out with a certain frequency, with short, medium, or long-term checks. Some alerts are sent to the customer in case of any operation should be not carried out. For instance, replacing the gearbox oil after 8,000 hours. If the operation will be not carried as per our suggestion, the alert will remind to the operator to replace the oil. This is because we believe the importance of be close to our customer as much as possible. Another crucial aspect are the predictive fault detections. Line is equipped with sensor and tools installed on the blown film line in order to monitor certain specific components and related parameters, in order to identify any variables or suspect behavior that might lead to future fault. Suppose, for instance, a gearbox vibration or gearbox oil contamination. The constant measurement actually is allowing to having a full, complete picture under control. Complexity in its various forms therefore becomes the mainstream, characterizing also the second section of our reasoning today on barrier film and barrier product trends. A complex world, transnational trends, macro trends, demographic, logistics, every single aspect of an economical choice plays an important role in consumers' buying process, and therefore has a domino effect to all the steps of the chain. In our specific case, we can observe a growing trend in demand for barrier products, and this is not just a rate itself. Growing demand for barrier products comes as a result of all the ingredients of today's world, well combined together, clearly. Observe how urbanization, lifestyle, environment, and social trends, buying habits, online ordering, ready-to-use food, ready-to-deliver food, home delivery, longer shelf life of the products, pharmaceutical products, pets products, everything is surrounding us, and how, generally speaking, our daily habits needs a barrier film. Furthermore, in order to reason together on the implication and possible future trends of certain products, such as the barrier film, I would like to share with you a few considerations on demographics and again some data. Where do people live? What do they consume? How do they consume? What kind of lifestyle people have? How do they travel? What do they eat? Where do they eat? At home, outside? How do they buy? How do they order? More than half of the world's population today live in urban areas, increasingly in high-dense cities. However, urban settings are a relatively new phenomenon in human history. This transition has transformed the way we live, the way we work, we travel, and we build our networks. This setup and this population distribution, I'd like to say, determine also a certain need, a certain buying behavior, a certain preference in buying, and certain preference in storing the food and the goods. I do not want to enter here in a specific customer behavior, and much more important, this is not a war between what is sustainable and what is not sustainable. Sustainability is the result of a well-structured process aimed to get more positive externalities. And the full system must be sustainable, not only a few steps of the longer journey. Let's consider a generic barrier film of food application. All in all, everyone is subject to preserve the content of the packaging. Big supermarket as well as small grocery close to our house. The final user is different, but I guess no one is ready to compromise the quality of the fresh cheese they are selling or buying just because of packaging. The expectations are high, and certainly the packaging has to secure the product, meet a certain criteria to generate a positive cycle of reuse, recycle, reduce. Barrier film is in the middle between customer and market. All market needs asking certain properties, and where possible, the sustainable reuse of it, with some peculiarity, of course, a polyamide or a VOH. The current way of buy, order, ship, deliver, store, consume food and products impose a certain attention in film for packaging, like any other components of the supply chain. Clearly, due to our customer preferences and user needs, regional demand as well, the blown film line has not a standard solution, or at least our blown film line has not a single standard solution. Our lines are developed, tailored, optimized according to the customer needs, with our customer inputs and thanks to their precious contribution. This is not a usual statement, because barrier product specification might differ according to certain areas and markets, food trends, final user habits, and product to be preserved. Therefore, regardless the number of layers, 5, 7, 9, or 11, barrier film has not a unique formulation and certainly has not a unique solution. Last but not least, another important focus of our daily activity here in Bandera is to work closely with our customers by providing and offering a full range of technical solutions to reintegrate the barrier film in the logic of circularity, thanks to all the synergies of our division. But a dedicated focus will be done by colleagues in the next days we will spend together with case histories and empirical successful stories. Thank you very much for your attention and for staying tuned on the Bandera Plastic Week.
Hi everyone, I am Carlo Pattini, Product and Sales Manager of the blown film division here at Bandera. First of all, let me thank all of you for joining us today at the Bandera Plastic Week Virtual Open House. I really hope you will find a lot of useful information and ideas for a further development of your business activities. My contribution to this event will be covering an important topic for our customers all over the world: the reuse of post-industrial wastes and the creation of new business opportunities. As we all know, for the coming years, the European community and all the major brand owners all over the world have set challenging targets, ruling the reuse of recycled material into new plastic products. Today, we will see how Bandera can support its customers to reuse post-industrial wastes coming from film production and especially the most critical ones, the barrier films, both from blown film and cast technology. This is today a critical aspect, above all when the produced film is containing polyamide or when the film has a non-symmetrical barrier structure. To be clearer, this is today already possible, but in limited percentages. This is because the use of recycled granules coming from these sources is causing issues in the second blown film process in terms of unmelt, gels and quality problem, especially when stretching the film to thin thicknesses. Here, at the House of Extrusion, we can benefit from a synergy between Bandera blown film and recycling technologies under the same roof, allowing us to design a unique solution and process the wastes coming from the first extrusion phase on a co-rotating twin-screw extruder. We are indeed using the same twin-screw extruder, which gave us a lot of success processing post-consumer PET material for rigid application in more than 300 installations worldwide, getting now optimal results in a different application. Thanks to unique, specifically designed and patented features of the Bandera co-rotating twin-screw extruder, we can achieve a very low shear stress of the material, a very efficient triple degassing of the melt, a very precise oil thermoregulation of the extruder, and a very gentle and perfect mixing between polyamide or EVOH with polyethylene. The combination of these features allow us to get a granule which can easily and successfully process on a secondary blown film line. In particular, thanks to the fruitful cooperation with ExxonMobil and some of our top customers worldwide, Bandera is today capable to reuse the industrial wastes coming from a 7-layer EVOH barrier film production into a standard 3-layer blown film line to produce the sealant layer of a film used for stand-up pouches to pack detergent products or for mailing bags application. Both these products have been processed containing up to 50% of post-industrial recycled material. Always in a view of constant R&D activities which took place here at the House of Extrusion during the last months, we achieved outstanding and somehow unexpected results, successfully using a polyethylene EVOH polyamide double barrier film on a 3-layer blown film line, running a 20-micron thick film with up to 100 of recycled material, with a total content of polyamide up to 25%. Thanks a lot for being with us today, and I really hope to meet you in person very soon.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Matt Bannock, Vice President of Business Development for PTI. And on behalf of PTI, I would like to thank Bandera for inviting us to this virtual open house. Today, we'll share our experience within the North American bioresin market with a focus on processing PLA for the sheet extrusion and thermoforming industries. The primary benefit of any bioresin is the compostability and reabsorption back into the plants that were originally used to produce the resin. This is a truly green product life cycle and a tremendous benefit to the circular economy. The green impact of bioresins goes beyond compostability, as many use less energy to produce than comparable resins. Furthermore, due to its clean chemistry and high volumetric heat capacity, it can also be used as a very clean energy source, such as incineration, and it does not produce harmful chemical or metal emissions. For those of you in the audience unfamiliar with PTI, PTI was founded in 1988. We specialize in complex sheet co-extrusion systems, and we provide single-screw high-speed and HVTSE extruders. We have a 100,000 square foot heavy crane facility with 15,000 square feet dedicated to our Technology Development Center, which is equipped with production-scale high-speed and HVTSE extrusion systems. We use this facility for development and testing of equipment, process and material trials, and PTI University, a facility within our TDC that provides classroom and hands-on training for both employees and customers, for operators, maintenance technicians, and process engineers. Our highly trained and accomplished staff is comprised of long-tenured PTI employees, technical personnel from the sheet extrusion industry, the thermoforming industry, and from universities. 50% of our staff has more than 25 years of industry experience, and several of us have more than 35. We entered into a strategic business alliance with Bandera in 2010 and have an installed base of 30 HVTSE systems in North America, with an industry-leading theoretical annual dryerless capacity of 395 kilotons. The contents of this presentation contains a brief PLA history, a market overview, a review of material properties, process considerations, equipment requirements, thermal analysis, case studies and comparative analysis, and a summary of that data. Let's talk briefly about PLA history and PTI's experience within the timeline. PLA was invented in the 1920s, but the first commercially viable polymerization process wasn't invented until 1989. NatureWorks commissioned the first commercial reactor, which was 150 kilotons, in 2003, and the PLA industry was born. PTI's involvement in PLA processing was in 2005 and included modifications to existing equipment in a joint venture with the customer. Using these learnings, we commercialized our first high-output PLA-specific single-screw 180mm extrusion system in 2007. This system was designed for 1,600 kilograms per hour. 4 years later, PTI commercialized the first 170mm dryerless PLA HVTSE twin-screw extrusion system at a rate of 2,000 kilograms per hour. As demand for PLA grew, other resin manufacturers entered the market space, and the world's second largest reactor, 75 kilotons, was commissioned by Total Corbion in 2016. We'll take a look at the global PLA capacity on the next slide. According to our sources, the 2020 global PLA production for all markets, packaging, medical, fiber, etc., was 512.5 kilotons. PTI's installed extrusion capacity as of 2021 breaks down as follows. For inline sheet extrusion and thermoforming, it's 39.6 kilotons. For offline thermoforming, roll stock sheet extrusion, it's 14.4 kilotons, and 13 kilotons for fiber extrusion. Our total annual installed capacity is about 67 kilotons, which is comprised of 68% HVTSE and 32% conventional single-screw extrusion. This represents 13% of the 2020 global PLA resin production. So how big is the global market in US dollars? In 2020, the global PLA market was estimated at $525 million US dollars, with an expected growth to $567 million by the end of 2021. The estimated annual growth rate ranges between 16 and 19% depending on the source. This projection puts the market at between 1.7 and 2.1 billion US dollars by 2028. For reference, the US consumed 42% of the global PLA resin production during the same year. This consumption, however, was down from 2019 due to, COVID-19. PLA is a more expensive packaging resin than PP or PET, and has historically been utilized in high-value market segments, including stadium cups and universities. Demand fluctuates with packaging legislation, and new resins are being developed every day, so customers and resin companies continually run trials in PTI's Technology Development Center with PLA, experimental cellulose esters, and PP or PET with biodegradable additives. Let's take a quick look at some of PLA's thermal properties as compared to PET. Please don't get lost in the US units. The only important takeaway from this comparison is the relative difference between PLA and PET. PLA has a lower density, but a much higher specific heat, which means it takes more energy to heat it or cool it. PLA has a lower thermal conductivity, which means it takes longer to heat and cool. But when you calculate diffusivity, the result becomes significantly greater time to heat or cool. When we calculate volumetric heat capacity, we still have significantly more energy to add or remove in the process. Here's how these physical properties affect the process. Again, comparing PLA and PET and ignoring base units. We'll look at the extrusion temperature, roll, sheet surface temperature, and process delta T. Comparing PLA and PET, PLA has a much lower extrusion temperature, which is favorable to processing, but it also has a lower roll sheet surface temperature requirement. The roll sheet surface temperature is the temperature at which the material cleanly releases from the chrome roll during the extrusion process. The lower the release temperature, the harder it is to process. The process delta T is calculated by subtracting the sheet surface temperature from the extrusion temperature. PLA is less than PET, which sounds favorable, but we have more work to do. When we calculate actual heat load, which is the volumetric heat capacity times the process delta, we see that PLA has a slightly higher heat load, even with the lower process delta T. But it gets worse. Most sheet processors don't consider volume, they consider mass. So again, ignoring the units, let's take a look at an example process for 1,000 kgs per hour. PLA's 5.3% lower density means that we have to process more plastic volume to achieve the same mass throughput. So rather than having a 2.6% difference, we have more than 2.5 times the difference at 8.1%. This equates to a chilling load increase of 7.7 kilowatts per ton of PLA processed as compared to PET. Other considerations when processing bioresins include one, that bioresins are hygroscopic and require drying. HVTSE dryerless systems account for 68% of PTI's installed PLA base. However, some bioresins utilize additives that cannot be processed under high vacuum. These require single screw extruders. The physical properties are dependent upon molecular weight. Excessive molecular weight loss affects clarity and causes brittleness. And finally, that bioresins are corrosive and will quickly degrade extrusion systems that aren't specifically designed for the application. So how does this corrosive nature affect equipment design? The first step is in metallurgy, which includes screw elements, the adapter network, and the vacuum system components for HVTSE systems. The next step is the application of proprietary technology, including melt filtration, the gear pump design, and the chrome roll stand. Due to the extreme thermal loads of PLA and other bioresins, an engineered, high cooling capacity chrome roll stand is a critical element to production performance. This engineering starts with PTI's proprietary thermal analysis system, which has been developed, tested, updated, and proven with over 3 decades of real-time data from production installations and our Technology Development Center. Here's an example of how we utilize this modeling tool. In this case, we'll look at PLA at 1,000 kgs an hour with 1.5 millimeter sheet at 864 millimeters wide. So this is a high output at a very thick gauge with a very narrow width. These will provide interesting dynamics. You'll notice a graph on the left which will plot the cross-sectional side A, side B, centerline, and average temperatures as the sheet traverses through the roll stand. On the right, you'll see a graphical representation of the sheet as it progresses across the rolls. Observe how the surface temperatures rise and fall throughout roll transitions and how the average and centerline cooling rates change. These thermal dynamics are critical for properly engineering the number of rolls, the roll sizes, wrap angles, and cooling system flow rates. This slide shows summary output from our modeling tool. The next 12 slides show case studies from PLA installations at various customer sites and also from our Technology Development Center. Notice the changes in curve form and cooling time from study to study. We just looked at a lot of data, so let's do a quick summary analysis of some important thermals. The final average temperatures are widely varied, but the final side B temperatures appear to coalesce. The chrome roll temperatures are varied, but they appear to max out at about 140 degrees. If you recall, we identified 140 degrees earlier in this presentation as the maximum roll sheet surface PLA release temperature. Here's another look at the same data sorted by gauge. Notice how the data points converge for the thinner gauges and greatly diverge for the thicker gauges. Another note, look at the massive divergence of the 30 mil as compared to the 14 mil and the 35 mil right next to each other. This data suggests that this process was pushing the limits of the roll stand. This emphasizes the importance of accurate, detailed thermal modeling. We've just covered a lot of information in a short period of time, but I'll consider this presentation successful if you remember a few key points about processing bioresins. First, bioresins are challenging to process due to their hygroscopic nature, the molecular weight requirements, and the low chrome roll release temperatures. Bioresins place greater heat loads on plant chilling systems per kiloton of extruded sheet than PET. Bioresins are as diverse as polypropylene and HDPE resins, and often require alternate process and equipment design approaches. Bioresins require highly engineered sheet extrusion systems, including metallurgy, sealing systems, and cooling system design. And that HVTSE is a dominant platform for processing PLA in North America. On a final note, PTI and NatureWorks are collaborating on a white paper, which will include much more information than we were able to discuss in this short time slot. Thank you for attending this presentation. For more information, visit us at www.ptiextruders.com.
Hello everybody, my name is Tonino Severini, Managing Director of Point Plastic. I would like to introduce a novel oxygen barrier technology for the production of APET trays in substitution of PET AVOH multilayer structure. The technology has been developed in the frame of an Horizon 2020 finance project. The slide shows the distribution of APET trays across Europe with focus on different sheet structure. We can see that about 2/3 of APET trays present on the market have multilayer structure. The new European legislation obliged the introduction of a minimum recycled content into a new package. The packaging industry will be forced to generate packages with better recyclability to sustain the circular economy. The table reported in this slide describes the PETCOR's guidelines for an optimum recycling process for the APET trays. We can see in red column that AVOH is listed among other additives as one of the product not considered recyclable in the APET tray stream. This slide reports the different structure of a traditional multi-material PET AVOH PA versus a monomaterial barrier APET trays. The pictures reported in these slides shows some commercial application for our new barrier monomaterial APET solution. The graph reported in this slide shows the difference in oxygen permeability over thickness of sheets based on non-barrier APET material versus PET EVOH material and monomaterial barrier APET sheet. This slide shows the data generated during the APBP's QC500 test used to evaluate the recyclability of a PET material. We can see that our barrier solution material shows after oven test same color of reference APET material. The present slide reports the value proposition of our new barrier solution versus the multi-material, multi-layer PET EVOH structure. We still have ongoing activities on this project in order to increase the recycling content in the structure, in order to test the solution on different type of food, and in order to increase the efficiency of our barrier solution. We thank you for your attention.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We are here today to give you a first overview of our ESTA-bio, our great range of biocompostable compounds dedicated to different applications. In particular, today we will have a deeper view about the materials developed for the coffee capsules application. Just a few words about who we are. Fiplast is an Italian compounding company which was founded in 2007 as a spin-off of Cosa Polymeri, a well-known compounder based in the north of Italy, and that since 2008 has been producing biocompostable compounds for practically all the processes and applications, from disposable to food packaging, from shopping bags to cling film, from industrial stretch to mulch film. Let's go in more details about coffee capsules applications. There are some ecological reasons why we believe that using a compostable compound is a winning choice. First of all, there is a difficult collection of the wastes. It's hard to imagine that an housewife can divide the different materials that are part of a coffee capsule: aluminium, plastic, paper, and coffee. Secondly, it's also very naive to claim the possibility to recycle them in a sustainable way. Thirdly, there is a clear symbiosis between packaging and content at the end of life. Last but not least, residual coffee is an outstanding fertilizer, appreciated by our grandmother to grow up their flowers on the terrace, but most of all, very efficient in agriculture. Therefore, the idea of having the packaging that can go at the end of life in the same recycling chain of the content, it's a perfect match. In this view, even European Community has established that the compost is a clear path to the circular economy. But what about economics? In this case, it might help a practical example, the Caffè Vergnano case. Caffè Vergnano is a medium-sized but very innovative coffee roaster with branch shops in several key cities all over the world and a significant presence in retailers. It is actually competing in a booming market with a growing demand for sustainable products and with an environment asking for circular economy as for the rest of the industry. Each and every quarter, new and aggressive players are entering in this market. Well, what Mr. Vergnano said is that the biocompostable capsules have been a real marketing leverage for them, allowing them to keep and slightly increase their market share in this very fragmented, competitive environment. This as a general point of view. Coming to our material, let's give you some details about the genesis of our products. The ESTA-bio PL0480T05 and the ESTA-bio PL0640T05, with their variants, are the result of a long research, selection, and functionalization of raw materials. In this particular aspect, Fiplast not being an integrated producer, could enjoy the possibility to select the most suitable materials available globally. In order to get the optimum from them, we developed a specific compounding technology to process them at the best and to obtain from them the highest possible performances. Due to the intrinsic characteristic of the biocompostable compounds, it is strategic to have a specific setup not only of the compounding process, but also of the process at our customers, this with the final target to give them a turnkey assistance. In this view, the joint developments established with the machine manufacturer for the different applications, and Bandera was definitely the most important of them with our extrusion grades, has played a dramatic role. We are today able to assist our customers in order to allow them to produce a final good as the market requires. Last but not least, we developed and put in place a complete laboratory not only to check our compounds, but able to verify and confirm the quality of the goods produced by our customer. Finally, we would like to go in more details about the performances of our SWO grades. As a first quality, I would like to mention the ease of processing of the SWO in all the possible technologies, from the injection molding to the extrusion thermoforming to the blown or cast film. This is possible without any technological change needed from traditional processes. The SWO shows outstanding mechanical properties, very comparable with traditional plastics. Beyond this, SWO shows thermal resistance at 90 degrees Celsius. This despite SWO doesn't need any crystallization. All the characteristics and performances are there at the end of the extrusion process. If correctly processed, it presents perfectly fit for use organoleptic profile, and more than 5 years in retailer shelves are a nice evidence of its quality. Within the product range, you can find different levels of bio-based material, from 20 to over 65% or renewable content. With several customers, we were able to develop coffee capsules with barrier properties in multi-layer extrusion with Bandera technology or in co-injection molding. Useful to underline that all our grades are certified by TÜV as OK compost, some of them up to 1.55 mm thickness. If you would like to have more information or to get in contact with us, do not hesitate to write to the emails of our sales managers that you can see in the last slide. Thank you for your attention, and we hope to get in contact soon with you. Goodbye.
I am Gabriele Murano, Sales and Product Manager of Bandera Flat Extrusion Die Department. Today, we want to show you the reasons why Bandera is recognized as a worldwide leading manufacturer of PET and polypropylene sheet extrusion lines, able to achieve incredible results in the last 20 years in terms of number of installation and quality performed by its machineries. The key to our success is the patented co-rotating twin screw technology, which set the pace in the industry and paved the way to processing dryless PET post-consumer flakes and high-quality polypropylene films. Facing the new targets of tray recycling, Bandera is offering to its customers cutting-edge solutions for sustainable PET and polypropylene packaging, featuring barrier properties whenever is required. In the next chapters, we will detail you our latest achievements and our future targets on both the PET and polypropylene horizons. Before doing that, I will introduce you to our fantastic R&D instrument, the Condor line, which supports the Bandera team for the concrete execution of its innovative ideas.
The Bandera Condor line is probably the most complete and innovative extrusion equipment ever designed. It is installed in our house of extrusion and available for R&D purposes of Bandera and above all for its customers. To satisfy the upcoming challenges of the market, it is configured with two separate extrusion zones, the substrate section and the coating island. The substrate zone includes 3 co-rotating twin-screw extruders for the production of sheet made of different polymers, such as polystyrene, polypropylene, PET and PLA, including also other biomaterials. When required, the twin screws can process polymers with mineral fillers in pellets or in powder through side feeders, or to provide physical foaming by gas injection on the extruder barrel. One of the major benefits offered by the Bandera twin screw is the degassing efficacy in processing PET, PLA and polystyrene with no pre-drying. Obviously, this will reduce production energy cost. Similarly, such an efficient degassing improves also polypropylene quality. Downstream the substrate zone, the 9-layer coating station is equipped with single-screw extruders to customize the final product structure in order to meet customers' needs. The extrusion coating configuration allows the production of very thin and accurate layer thicknesses, up to 1 or 2 microns, delivering amazing quality and flexibility, above all compared to traditional co-extrusion design. The adhesion to the substrate is definitely more performant and steady compared to standard lamination solutions. The aesthetical properties such as transparency and brilliancy are indisputably better compared to other technologies. All these features are highly appreciated, above all when processing functional and barrier resins. About operations, the Bandera extrusion coating island can be supplied as a retrofit for existing sheet extrusion lines, or just like roll-to-roll configuration, using reels produced by standard extrusion lines. The Bandera Condor line has been our instrument for progressing into the PET sheet tray-to-tray application and polypropylene and biomaterial for coffee capsules.
Over the latest years, plastic single-use cups have become greatly popular in most different applications, such as coffee and many others. The most common solutions are made of polypropylene and features AVOH barrier layers. Extrusion coating lines offer high flexibility in the production of this structure, thus favoring barrier layer asymmetry and optimizing the use of tie resin and AVOH that significantly affect cups' overall cost. By means of extrusion coating, Bandera can use high quantities of recycled material and thermoforming scraps in the substrate without any viscosity fluctuation issue, as opposite to the common co-extrusion in one die only. The production of compostable cups has become a market need. Coating line flexibility and the twin screw dryless technology offer the change to process polypropylene and biopolymers independently. Allowing for thermoforming industrial scrap reuse, they provide for significant cost saving on receipt and a reduction of high biomaterial cost impact, with no degradation and keeping the virgin quality level.
Parallel to PET, the polypropylene packaging market is having a very interesting development with the aim of optimizing the standard generally attributed to polypropylene film. The rigid packaging and the for-fill and seal market are requesting a certain combination of characteristics for the satisfaction of the various final applications. Down gauging up to 180 micron, high transparency comparable with PET, ensured barrier performance, confirmed thermic resistance for pasteurization and other high temperature applications, better control of the layer thickness, above all the adhesive and the barrier resin, customized glossy surface, appropriate shrinking level. Bandera developed 2 dedicated technologies to meet these needs. The first one is a dedicated extrusion line with reinforced calendering to obtain transparent foil, glossy on both sides, and with thickness values ranging from 240 micron to 1.8 millimeter. The second technology, which is a more flexible and offers a wider application range, features a cast film line powered by a customized solution coating station to reach wider thickness range and higher transparency. The mono or multi-layer cast film equipment produces the substrate afterwards coated with a specific layer structures, ensuring barrier resin application and astonishing transparency level. This solution offers the widest production ability available in the market, from 180 micron to 2 millimeter, combining the most appreciable benefit in terms of quality, accuracy and control. The foam thin seal market is more and more in search of sustainable solutions for oxygen barrier food packaging to reach the goal of tray-to-tray recycling. Relying on coating technology, Bandera is exploring new frontiers to obtain PET-based monomaterial structures with barrier additives in cutting-edge configurations. The results experimentally achieved are far better compared to the other available solutions in terms of optical and barrier performance, mechanical properties, and reduced overall thickness. Thanks to the accurate thickness control by its coating station, Bandera technology offered the chance to produce barrier structures with materials such as AVOH, minimizing the overall quantity of polymer other than PET under 5%. In this way, the end product could be identified as monomaterial for many worldwide countries, and its industrial and post-consumer recyclability is drastically increased.
Hello to everybody, my name is Enrico Beccarini and I would like to lead you into the world of polypropylene products and applications. First of all, let me introduce myself. I've been working for 35 years in polypropylene business. Until 2013, I was a member of LyondellBasell company, the world leader in polypropylene products, catalysts and technologies. Since 2014, I'm an independent consultant in polypropylene business and innovation. Let's have a review on polypropylene markets and applications from virgin product point of view. Then we will move to the recycling activity which concern polypropylene. Polypropylene consumption is almost 80 million tons per year, while the installed capacity is about 100 million tons per year. Almost 70% of world consumption is represented by PP homopolymers, 20% is the PP impact copolymer, while less than 10% is random copolymer. These are the three main PP product categories. When we speak about converting technologies, polypropylene is mainly used in injection molding. Other important areas are film, BOPP and cast film, and fibers. As I already mentioned, there are three main product categories: homopolymers, random copolymers, and heterophasic or impact copolymers. Here we can have a look on some applications of polypropylene products, also divided by product categories. Homopolymers are mainly used in film, fiber, and thermoforming, while impact copolymers are predominantly used in injection molding. Random copolymers are mainly used in caps enclosures, as well as in transparent applications. Despite the fact that polypropylene is the most diffused plastic in the world, there is no dedicated collection stream, and polypropylene is collected together with all other polyolefins: high-density polyethylene, low-density polyethylene, and linear low-density polyethylene. This creates a problem because polypropylene is not compatible with all other polyolefins. There is the need to separate polypropylene from all other plastics in order to get the best performances out of the recycled material. In the next slides, I'll get through a Q&A session where I will try to give a reply to most common questions about polypropylene recycling. In this slide, I describe how polypropylene is recycled. Usually we start from rigid items. Less common is the recycling of film and fibers. The items are fragmented and then the resulting flakes are converted into granules, less common directly into new items, passing through an extrusion step, adding additives and eventually fillers in order to get the desired final properties. A key question concerns the possibility to use recycled polypropylene for food packaging applications. The answer is no. The main legislation do not allow the use of mechanically recycled plastics, including also polypropylene, in direct food contact, with the only exception of PET. Another common question is how to get rid of odors in recycled polypropylene. We have to remember that plastics are organic materials and absorb part of the product that they came in contact with. We must extract what was absorbed, and the best way is to get the product through a twin screw extruder with degassing ports, where vacuum is applied. As further action, we can apply steam and or microwave treatments to the granules. Luigi Bandera has developed a new deodorization device which represents a new standard for the recycling industry. Product properties are strictly linked to material structure and to the organic and inorganic substances which can be added to the plastic material while it is passing through the extrusion step. The most effective way to disperse these substances into the polymer matrix is to use a twin co-rotating screw extruder. Minimum mechanical and thermal degradation, effective removal of volatiles, optimal dispersion of additives and fillers, and last but not least, the lowest specific energy consumption make twin screw extruders the best choice for mechanical recycling, or better said, upcycling. Almost every day there are announcements on chemical recycling. New technologies and new projects are made public through specialized magazines. People that invested or are intending to invest in mechanical recycling are getting overwhelmed by chemical recyclers? The answer is no. Chemical recycling, particularly in the case of polypropylene and polyethylene, is still far from being a proven industrially and economically viable technology. The main petrochemical players are involved in pilot activities for research purposes, but they are all investing in mechanical recycling facilities, and this has a meaning. But the fundamental question is, what is the selling price of recycled polypropylene? Nowadays, recycled polypropylene is still commercialized with the premium versus virgin polypropylene, and this has created uncertainty about economical return for recyclers, as the virgin material went through extremely high price variations, being linked to oil and naphtha prices, while the cost structure of recycled materials is far more stable, depending from labor, transportation, energy costs. In the near future, with the introduction of taxes for discouraging the use of plastics, the so-called plastic tax, we can expect that recycled material price will match or even surpass the price of virgin polypropylene. Actually, we might continue with this Q&A session for hours, but for today we are coming to an end, I'm afraid. So, if I piqued your interest on polypropylene and you want to learn more about it, you can contact me, or you can attend to the 3-day seminar that I will hold in July. You are all invited. Thank you for your kind attention and my best regard to all of you.
Good morning. I am Maria Elena Veronese, Filtech SRL Sales and Marketing Director. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Luigi Bandera for their welcome in the House of Extrusion and for the opportunity they grant to introduce you Filtech and our products. Filtech is an Italian manufacturing company specialized in systems for the processing of the plastics, particularly pelletizers, watering and underwater type. To be a lean structure allows us to be able to identify the right pelletizer for the different production needs, offering so the maximum level of customization and flexibility. More than 28 years of experience in the field of plastics gave birth to a wide range of products. Further to the already mentioned underwater and watering pelletizers, we produce screen changers, single or double plate, water filtration and cooling systems, vertical dryers for pellets or flakes, vented vibrating screen for pellets, cooling and separations, up to 3 different levels. Technology and innovation are the pillars on which each of our activity has based. The introduction of a new business management and an integrated CRM guarantee better organization in purchases and sales, even in case of work far from the office. Finally, also our technical department use a first-generation software PDM. We can count on a multilingual help desk, on a spare parts warehouse with more than 14,000 items, managed with the previously mentioned business software, shortening so the time for goods arrangement and delivery. Filtech special characteristics is the capacity of design and manufacture of machines and accessories tailor-made. Step by step, together with the customer, we study the most suitable solution designed for their needs. Shortly, we will go to analyze some of the technical aspects of the main product. But first, I'd like to lead you inside the actions Filtech do to promote the plastic recycle and the circular economy. The last project, in chronological order, that is involving us, has called Eco Design and Personal Protection Equipment Recycle, even the sanitary ones, and maybe also linked to pandemic. The project, Eco PPE, financed and promoted by Veneto region, involves 3 Venetian universities and sees Filtech as active part in the design and production of a prototype of pelletizer. The project will lead to the discovery and pelletization of new polymers and biopolymers with which to produce 100% recyclable PPE. Plastics, needful and precious goods, part of our everyday life that cannot be cancelled from them, not a devil to be destroyed, while a value from which to obtain the most of its potential. For this reason, another project that shows us involved is RUR. Maybe someone of you already heard about it. It was born as a joke, as a Facebook community, and now can count even on a website, a LinkedIn page, and some beautiful short film. Customers, ours and of the other 3 companies that together decided to give it birth, supporting its informative aim with a small monetary contribution that gives them the opportunity to be known and to let know what they do for the circular economy. And very important, spread and make known different procedures used to recuperate plastics It will be a pleasure to welcome you also as part of this project. Maybe someone of you already are, and for this we thank you. The pelletizer you can see here now is an underwater type. This type of pelletizer is the Filtech bestseller and sold worldwide. It is a versatile equipment that perfectly fits to the output of polymers with high metal index. Talking about the recycle, matter of today's discussion, polyolefins such as PP and all kind of PE, or PET, PS, ABS, or biopolymers such as PLA or others. But it can also give very good results with materials dedicated to the compound. This system's characteristics is to produce well-distinct granules with a spheric shape in a granulation chamber full of water, so with blades completely inside the water. This assures a homogeneous product without agglomerates and dispersion of powder. The Filtech pelletizer's cutting heads can mount die plates heated with diathermic oil or electric heaters. The first system, in special cases, can assure homogeneity of heating of the die plate compared to the one with electric heaters, avoiding so the freezing effect, facilitating the scrolling and passing of the melt inside the holes. Our die plates are composed by a single block of metal. This assures them a high resistance. The drilling of the die plate is done according to a tailor-made special design. Thanks to their construction feature of hardening, the surface of the die plate can be grinded more times before they must be replaced completely. This kind of die plates lend themselves well to the production of micropellets. The pellets obtained at the end of the process are cooled and conveyed in water. Thanks to a closed-loop circuit of the water, Filtech equipment can warrant an optimization in the process, water and energy consumption. These pelletizers for many years have been easily welcomed and accepted both by important recyclers of polyolefins and biopolymers producers. Technology, innovation, Industry 4.0, and very soon an app from mobile, the Filtech pelletizers have a software system that gives them the remote access each moment the customer needs and wants. In this way, it is possible to assure an immediate assistance. The hourly capacity can vary until now from 80 to 6,000 kilos per hour. In the very next future, Filtech will expand the product's range, introducing a pelletizer able to reach production not covered now. Thanks again for your attention, and again to Luigi Bandera for this opportunity. We are available for any query, and it would be a pleasure to have you as our partner.
Welcome to Bandera. My name is Andrea Carraro. I'm the Product and Sales Manager of the Rivotech Recycling Technology. Recently, Bandera has decided to go back to the recycling market, playing a leading role thanks to its unique rotating twist-screw extruder that is proving to be a step ahead of other machines currently on the market. Bandera rotating twist-screw extruder can be installed individually, equipped with adequate filtering and pelletizing system to recycle post-industrial polyolefin or post-consumer materials up to compounding. To reach virgin material quality level and therefore carry out actual polyolefin upcycling, Bandera offers its customer a twin screw extruder cascade solution, a configuration that features fantastic characteristics to reach top exceptional quality level, while keeping remarkable flexibility to face current and future recycling challenges. Beside the polyolefin market, Bandera offers recycling solution for PET, the primary reference material, having developed and launched its pure technology to obtain PCR PET flake approval by EFSA and FDA 4 years ago. Bandera today has introduced a bottle-to-bottle solution in its portfolio and system for the implementation of recycled PET in virgin material polymerization lines. At its testing lab, Bandera offered the chance to evaluate all its solutions on industrial line, allowing customers to see firsthand the efficiency and quality of materials recycled by Bandera lines. Let's enter in the Revotec technology with Gabriele Murano.
The Bandera Cascade line Revotec Tandem is equipped with a double co-rotating twin screw configuration, with the target of upcycling post-consumer highly contaminated materials, minimizing shear and thermal stress, thanks to the extrusion screw profiles and multiple long-lasting degassing stages. In the primary extruder, the melt is degassed and filtered twice, even up to 80 microns severity, and then it is fed into the secondary co-rotating twin screw, where additional materials such as mineral fillers, glass fibers, resins or other additives can be blended together for fulfilling specific customers' needs. The secondary twin screw extruder performs an additional degassing stage for the extraction of the VOC generated by the previous filtration, in which solid contaminants such as paper and wood can burn and generate undesired subproducts. Moreover, the two-stage degassing process dramatically reduces ink and solvent contents. The extruded melt can be fed to the pelletizing die head, or to reach further quality levels, it is possible to install an additional filtration stage to reach 30-40 microns severity. This cascade configuration allows a constant quality of the end product, thanks to its robust process, even running with polymers having different contamination levels. The machine can work with several polymers, such as LDPE, polypropylene, HDPE, and many others, reaching any market expectation and exceeding the quality obtained by single-screw cascade configurations.
The Revotec twin recycling and pelletizing lines, equipped with Bandera co-rotating twin screw extruder, offer a wide range of customizable configuration, which can be engineered and designed to meet customer needs according to process materials. Bandera actively collaborates with major filtering system manufacturers, mesh screens, breaker plate, belt screen, basket filters, scrap filters, to find the best solution depending on main raw materials. The experimental trials on an industrial line offers to our customer the chance of being assured in advance about the feasibility of the product by securing final product quality level. Bandera extrusion technology preserves raw material mechanical qualities and is capable of mixing difficult blends, incompatible for other techniques, reaching unique homogeneity. Such outcomes are due to the Bandera extrusion design with low screw speed, 52 LD length, low shear stress, and accurate melt temperature control.
Bandera co-rotating twin screw extruder have recorded remarkably interesting outcomes in recycling industrial scrap from blow films and cast lines. Film made of different materials such as PE, AVOH, and PA can be hard to recycle, dispose of, or sold by manufacturers. Relying on its effective mixing and controlled shear condition, Bandera twin screw offers efficient processing of different materials such as PE and PA, obtaining homogeneous mixture. Furthermore, it prevents sensitive polymer degradation like AVOH, avoiding black spot and yellowing. Experimentally speaking, outcoming pellets are stable, homogeneous, and 100% reusable to produce new thin films with thicknesses up to 20 microns, while preserving good optical and mechanical properties, closing completely the industrial waste recycling loop.
The absolute elimination of VOC and recycled material odor is not achievable in the extrusion, regardless the kind of process. This is why Bandera offers a patent pellet post-treatment to eliminate VOC and complete the upcycling process. The configuration of this continuous system can be in line with pelletizing or offline to process material independently. Bandera technology applies the combination of hot air and microwave treatment for fasten VOC drop compared to the similar technology on the market. Selectivity microwave heating increases VOC diffusivity in the polymer removal while minimizing energy consumption. Materials such as polypropylene can be cleaned out in 2 or 4 hours, while HDPE, the most critical polymer for its lower permeability, can take 4-6 hours totally. Reducing process time on the complete pelletized treatment, hot and cold one, machine overall footprinting and material changeover time are drastically reduced.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Dear customer and Bandera partners. This was the last day of our 4 days marathon, the Bandera Plastic Week event. I hope that all of you have enjoyed the technology sessions we had during this week and that you managed to learn something and get something out from our discussions and from our meetings. I would like, first of all, to thank all my colleagues from the sales department that actively participated in this event, and a special thanks goes to Andrea Borla, in charge for marketing and communication, as well as the agency that helped us, Industria Creativa, that helped us to make this event for us. I hope to see you very soon during our next event, or even better, personally meeting you somewhere in your town. Thank you very much and enjoy the day. Ciao a tutti. Ciao.